again, guys, and welcome back to another world of Dalton's knowledge of dinosaurs. So today, like I said on episode 1, I will be telling you about Spinosaurus. So the thing about Spinosaurus is you have to learn that this may be that this is one of the most bizarre carnivores of its time. And some of you have seen what Spinosaurus can do on Jurassic Park, but that's only just for fun. This is to tell you what Spinosaurus is really capable of. And he is dangerous, but he would never come in contact with T-Rex because he didn't live in the same time. He lived in the early Triassic. So here's what I'm about to say. Spinosaurus was the most dangerous carnivore of all. And he was a hunter, but his main diet of all was prehistoric sawfish. And these prehistoric sawfish were bigger than their normal cousins than we see them today. But Spinosaurus had a unique way of hunting for fish. What he did was, he merely just stood in the water, had both his claws in and his nose under the front part of his jaw. And what he does is, when the migration of prehistoric sawfish traveled past his home, this is what he would do. He would stay perfectly still, keep his snout directly under the water, and what he does is, the thing that he does is sonaring onto the creatures that pass his nose. In other words, he uses the same strategy that crocodiles use. In other words, inside his snout, under the fossil bone, it turns out in his fossilized nose has these special hollow tubes inside of his snout, like how crocodiles do, and we can see it a little bit. And what Spinosaurus can do is when he detects a fish passing by his nose, he quickly snaps his jaw shut onto the fish, lift it out of the water, drag it back onto the land, and quickly toss it on the ground, and use his teeth and his claws to rip and shred at the meat. And he is a bit of a wasty guy because all he does is take one fish, rips off a chunk of meat, and he wastes it. It means he's greedy and he wastes his food. So what Spinosaurus does is, the thing about him is he may waste his food, but the useful thing about it is other carnivores that lived in the same time period as him, like the smaller ones, like a small carnivore named Rugops, would scavenge off the carnivore's leftovers, Spinosaurus' prey. Plus, Spinosaurus' fossils were discovered in the middle of World War II, when this paleontologist found the fossilized remnants of a dinosaur. They didn't know what he was at first, because all of the fossils were lost during that war. All they found was half of his jawbone, one of his claws, and a complete sail of his fin. And here's what happened. As you can see, Spinosaurus is one of the unique creatures of its time. The body is almost like a crocodile's because it did swim in the water to look for food upstream and downstream. And it did kill smaller crocodiles, but it was an enemy of the bigger ones that lurked in the water. There was one species of crocodile he would not want to attack, and that was a prehistoric crocodile known as Deinosuchus, or Sarcosuchus, either one. So anyway, he would not kill a bigger one because he would rather not suffocate from a dangerous bite mark. Because in the time of Spinosaurus, he was the top predator, but he shared his territory and other parts of the land with a bigger carnivore called Carcharodontosaurus, the first ancestor of a T-Rex. And the thing about him is, when these two came in contact, they would attack each other. And they would fight, and sometimes one of them would be fatally wounded. Spinosaurus would also die from his wounds because they lived in a hot, summery, desert-like world where there was a little bit of rainforest, but with swamps, with herbivores to get a drink and eat at. And he lived near lakes where there was plenty of water and fish. But when his habitat dried out and lost a large amount of his food source, he was dying of dehydration and starvation. So Spinosaurus needed a big environment, because without it, this big carnivore would not survive without it. It was without water to drink or swim in, or fish to catch, he would not be able to survive. So, that is all for Spinosaurus, and I would like to thank you for listening, and look forward to episode 3, where I'll tell you about the bizarre herbivore nicknamed Giant Claw, aka Therizinosaurus. So thank you all for listening, and look forward to episode 3. Thank you.